What's up, Kansas City? I'm your host, Glenn Brian Frizzell. Today we are filming at the New Providence restaurant here, 13th in Baltimore. We have a very special guest with Stefanie Brown-James, who came to talk to us today about climate change and climate awareness. How are you doing today, Michelle?
I'm great, Glenn. How are you?
I'm good. How are you enjoying your time in Kansas City?
It's been great so far. Unfortunately, I'm only here for really, I think, 24 hours. So I haven't had any barbecue. But, I will definitely do that next time I'm here.
Yeah, you got to come back and do the barbecue, definitely. You talked a little bit about climate change awareness today and how it affects all different types of communities. I found one of your stories especially poignant about how asthma disproportionately affects low-income communities, that a lot of African-American children have asthma due to power plants and other type of environment issues being directly in their neighborhoods.
Right.
Why is this an important issue to you, climate change?
Well, it's funny. I first was really introduced to the issue of climate change maybe 2 years ago. My husband went to work for the National Sierra Club. And beforehand, I'm not an environmentalist, but I'm definitely a person who cares about the planet, who cares about our communities. And so once I started to get educated to this issue and how it specifically disproportionately impacts African Americans, it really kind of perked up because I've always been one to work on different civil rights and social justice issues in the community. And so, to hear that when it comes to our environment, you have 4 times more Black children who die from asthma-related deaths, that's concerning. Or when you see that 67% of African Americans throughout the country live within 30 miles of a coal plant, which directly relates to heart disease and lung disease. That's concerning. And so for me, as a social justice advocate, I wanted to get involved in this issue, which is why I'm here traveling the country talking about this issue.
As social justice advocates and people who are aware of these issues in our community, what can we do? Often we seem like the little dog in a big, powerful scheme that we have no control over. During the luncheon, we mentioned we can protest. We could also write senators and have a political voice. Is that where the buck stops? What else?
Well, I think the first thing which is so important is that you can't skip over the need to educate people about the issue.
Certainly.
When you think about the many issues that impact Black people every day around the country, you typically hear about, poor education, public schools that are failing. You hear about gun violence, you hear about police brutality, especially nowadays in the news. But you rarely hear about pollution in the air causing kids to have asthma and die. Like, that's not a normal correlation or a normal issue that you hear on a day-to-day basis. And so the first thing that we're trying to do is just educate people who may not know about the issue to just perk up their interest in wanting to learn more. And being aware. And I just think education is so key. And then once you're able to educate yourself about the issue, then you can go out and figure out, okay, well, who are the other people in my community who are already working on this that I can tag team with? So whether it's, the Sierra Club is really big here in Kansas City, or the mayor's office has many initiatives that are going on to green the community. Now you can start to join forces and then get involved that way. But first you have to know about the issue to even care about it.
We talk about education. Now there's a day of action coming up where we can get on our social media platforms. I believe it's on July the 30th. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yes, so there is a National Day of Action July 30th where we are calling for people to, one, learn about the President's Climate Action Plan. And he has a Climate Action Plan and a Clean Power Plan, which is calling for
President
Barack Obama, which is calling on states to limit the amount of carbon pollution they put out into the air. Right now, there's no standards on how much carbon pollution goes into the air. We know carbon pollution definitely relates back to many health concerns, but you do have limits on, like, let's say ozone, which is regulated, but there are no regulations on carbon pollution. So the Day of Action is calling attention to the President's plan, President Obama's plan, and we want people to use social media to encourage their representatives, their senators, their state representatives, their governors, to actually enact a plan on the state level. So people can use hashtag #ActOnClimate to really promote this issue on July 30th and really throughout the summer, the fall as well.
So we're talking about solutions in the Cascade Media Group. That's always important. Often we can identify the problem, but when we mobilize and get together and really put forth our collective efforts, our collective energies, we really can start to figure out a solution to those problems. Real quick, can you tell us about Vestige Strategies in DC and Brown Girls? Is it Brown Girls Lead?
Yeah. Definitely. So Vestige Strategies is the community and civic engagement consulting firm that I founded with my husband, Quentin James, now going on almost 3 years ago. And what we do is we work with clients around the country to help them promote whatever issue agenda they have to the community and to create partnerships. So for example, with the work that we're doing here, we're taking the issue of climate change and taking it to the people by hosting luncheons like this, happy hours for young professionals. We've been to Essence Fest, BET Awards to provide awareness to issues, but also we're a firm that's international. So we work on political campaigns internationally. We've done work in Nigeria. We're in Lagos, Nigeria. We're currently in Trinidad doing some work. And so we're a domestic and international firm that really wants to help the community at the end of the day to be empowered when it comes to issues that most impact them.
That's amazing.
And then Brown Girls Lead is my other hat, which is a nonprofit organization I founded now 5 years ago. It is a leadership development organization for young Black women. And we work through our Brown Girls Lead Academy, we work to take 20 young ladies currently who are at Howard University, and we pair them with a professional woman who serves as her coach through the school year to just provide her leadership development skills in her personal, professional, public life. Because we know that when it comes to young Black girls in college, they need help too. I remember, being at Howard, we both at Howard together. When I graduated, I was still really, really wet behind the ears and rough around the edges, and I needed someone to help guide me just on life and personal and professional development. And so that's really what Brown Girls Lead is about.
Well, you're definitely doing amazing work, whether it's on the news commentary or subbing for Roland Martin. We are definitely pleased that Councilman Reed brought you here today. Any plans to come back?
Oh, definitely. I used to work for NAACP a few years ago as our national field director, and a couple years ago we had our national convention here in Kansas City, and I just really love the town. I think the whole Power District?
KCPL,
Power and Light District has really developed, so it's cool to see that developing. And I love Kansas City. I'm from Cleveland, so I'm a Midwest girl, at heart. So I just feel right at home here. So I'll definitely be back.
Well, Mr. James, we appreciate it. Any upcoming project this summer? You gonna stay busy?
I'm having a baby, so that's the biggest project I could ever have going on. So other than that, just continue to work with Vestige and Brown Girls Lead, and getting ready for a whole new life.
Congratulations, Ms. James.
Thank you.
We are pleased as much to have you talk to us here today. I'm Glenn Brian Frizzell, Cascade Media Group. Where can they go get more information online? Do you have a website?
Yeah, the best place, I guess, where I have all my information, you can go to StefaniBrownJames.com, and that's Stefanie, STEFANIE. StefaniBrownJames.com, or I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Steph, STEF, Brown James. And I would love to connect with your viewers.
I'm your host, Glenn Brian Frizzell. Remember, the sky's the limit. Aim high. Shoot for the moon. If you miss, at the very least, you would have landed among the stars. Take care until next time. And that's a wrap.
That's great. I like that quote.